I'm Scott L. Miller. It is the 8th of November 2019, and this is my vlog of daily life in Nicaragua. Today is a throwback episode. Obviously, this is not 2019. This is being posted in 2022, and I am going back 3 years and telling you about our trip to Nicaragua that kicked off the adventure that we are on now. So 3 years ago on November 8th, it was our final full day in Nicaragua. We are in Granada. This is Alan and Rachel and I. We have been in San Juan del Sur for several days. Then we came to Granada for a couple of days, and today is our final day of the entire trip. Tomorrow we will still be here, but we are leaving relatively early to head out back to Texas, and for Alan, back to Utah. Today, we didn't have any big plans. We did have a lot of fun at the Chaco Museo yesterday. So today we wanted to do something similar. So the one big thing that we did for today, because everyone's pretty tired. Rachel and I are still out for adventure. Alan and Teeny are feeling a little bit under the weather. It's been kind of a busy week. Like, it seems like it's kind of vacation-y, but doing international travel with a bunch of weather stuff, and we had the flight missed on the first day. They're definitely feeling it. And so they're looking for a lighter day. They want to be ready to fly tomorrow. So our one big thing that we did today, other than the regular going out for food, is that we went out and did the carriage ride. Now, this is one of the things you do in Granada. And if you saw my Granada episodes just a few months ago when Brian came to visit from Texas, we also did the carriage rides. I highly recommend these. I did it also in 2015 with Dominica and my children when we were here the first time in Granada. It's like the thing to do. It's very touristy, but it's also a great way to see the city. And for years, Dominica and I have been telling people when you first get to a city, if it's one that has one of those bus tours, like the double-decker bus tours or the big gray bus or whatever they are, those are highly recommended. I guess it's Gray Line or Big Bus, like that. I mix them together. Anyway, duck tours, doesn't matter. It's highly recommended. Yes, they're touristy. Yes, it's just a tourist thing, right? But they move you around the city. You get an overview. You're able to get this really quick, just view of everything. And here in Granada, on Central Park, on the Parque Central, on Plaza Mayor, on the west side, so the far side from the cathedral, right next to the Alhambra now, is just a line of horse-drawn carriages. And you just go up, you just take the first one, and they all do exactly the same thing. They all cost essentially the same price. And you just go, and it can take like 4 people, horse-pulled carriage through the city. And most of the sites of Granada, this is one of the things that makes Granada different than most of the other cities, and what makes it very good as a tourist city is that, first of all, it's essentially flat. Most of downtown is almost completely flat. You're not going up and downhill, which is tough for horse-drawn carriages. You couldn't do this in León, for example. And almost all of the sites that you would want to see are very close to each other. Again, León is not like that. Managua is not like that. So Granada works out really well. San Juan del Sur would be able to do the same thing. They don't really have the space for it. They lack the plaza to launch from and all that, and just too many people. But this works great. It's cool because you're covered from the sun. You get a little bit of a breeze. You go through the city. You get to sit and relax. You get a history tour. The one thing is often it's in Spanish. Getting it in English can be a bit of a challenge even now, but it's a lot of fun. We enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it every time I've done it. I recommend that if you're going to Granada, and it helps the economy, right? It's a lot of jobs are provided by that service. So we did that, and then we went back to the Venezuelan restaurant that we went to yesterday because it was air conditioned and the food was great, and had lunch again. So that was clearly a big win yesterday. It's a little bit funny that while being in Nicaragua only for a little bit over 1 week, we ate Venezuelan twice, but it was seriously, it was a slam dunk as far as everything. Such good service, great little restaurant, decent prices, the food was excellent, and very chilly air conditioning. And we saw the same people in there eating today that we saw yesterday. Other people were having the same reaction. It was hot, and they loved the food, and it was just a great way to escape in the early afternoon when it gets hottest. So definitely something recommended as well. Seems to be the best place to go. We've never found anything else air conditioned like that in Granada. Pretty much after that, Alan and Teeny were done. They went back to the hotel. We did hang out a little bit, did some swimming because the hotel has a nice pool, just relaxed. Rachel went swimming, I went swimming. And then once evening came, Rachel and I headed out to do more exploration on our own. We walked all over town, kind of like we did in San Juan del Sur on the very first night, except this is our very last night. And we didn't do it super late. It was actually like the fast food restaurants were still open when we did it. We went down and walked all the pedestrian way, went really seriously looking for some interesting food. We had seen some things we wanted to check out. We ended up going way down, and it's funny because now I'm used to this, that here in Leon, every couple weeks, something like this is done. But when I lived in Granada before, I never saw this. But on this particular trip, the government had set up a giant stage, and we had seen them setting up during the day. And like when we did the horse-drawn carriage ride, it was in the way, so we knew it was there, but we didn't know what was going on. It was this giant stage was set up, and at night, probably 7, 8 o'clock at night, they put on a giant folk dance and music, spectacular. And it's really meant for locals, right? But it's in Granada, it's in the tourist district, so they mean for tourists to go, but it's actually mostly put on for the locals. And here in Leon, we get these all the time, and they actually don't even announce them for tourists. It is for the locals, by and large, and it was mostly kids, but also some adults, and they did just one dance troupe after another would come up, and they'd have all these lights and loud music, but it was all traditional dancing, and we stayed for a while, and Rachel just loved it. She actually teared up and was like, this is just so fantastic. She's a little bit emotional because we're leaving, and she has completely fallen in love with Nicaragua, but it was a really cool thing that we stumbled on, and kind of a highlight of our trip. It was something that for her was really special, and it was neat for me that it was something I hadn't done before in Granada. And then from there we headed west back again towards the city and stumbled on Bocanero, which is a tapas restaurant, which is not the kind of thing you find very often, like a real Spanish tapas place. So we went there, and they're all pirate themed because, of course, that part of the city is in the pirate zone. Anything east of the cathedral used to be able to be hit by the cannons of the pirates in Lago Nicaragua. So pirates are a big thing in this region, and Nicaragua especially, and Granada, especially within Nicaragua, was very defined by the pirates. Leon has some pirate history, but it's very loose. There's a lookout built over here so they could see pirates, right? That kind of thing. Granada has the downtown is placed exactly outside of cannonball range, and this is where the pirates would sit, and this is the pirate who came here. It's like very specific stuff. Much more a part of the city's heritage. So we went to this pirate-themed tapas restaurant I had a treasure map to use to order your drinks on one side and food on the other, and we got a bunch of different food items, and the food was amazing, and the setting was amazing, and we were really happy with that. Sadly, I've been back in 2021, early, so almost 2 years ago, looking at, because I'm recording this in 2022, remember, this is a 3-year throwback, so it was only about 1.5 years after being there with Rachel, we went looking for that restaurant, completely gone. And I've gone a couple times to make sure that it was really gone, and it definitely is. I found the place, and it's been turned into something else. So this is one of those sad ones. COVID and everything just wiped this restaurant out. It was a great idea when things were good, but once COVID hit and the tourism traffic went down, locals were not familiar with tapas restaurants, and I know of almost none left in the country, which is very sad because it's something I love a lot. Tapas is one of my favorite things to go out for food, and what I miss most from living in Spain, because we lived in the tapas zone. But we had this great dinner. It was absolutely fantastic, probably our best meal of the trip. And then we wanted to make sure that Alan and Teeny were fed, but they didn't really want to go out, but we wanted them to try, because we've been saving and it just never came up as a time to do it, to get Tip Top, which is the fast food restaurant of Nicaragua, for them. So we walked to the Tip Top right as they were about to close, got food to go, walked that back to the hotel, and dropped it off for Alan and Teeny. We had a little bite to eat ourselves, and that was it. We're calling it a night. And tomorrow, we're going to be catching a flight on Spirit back to Dallas, be returning to the United States, and I'll finally have a chance to start uploading all the pictures and what few videos were taken on this trip. So that was it. It was an amazing trip to Nicaragua. It was a very meaningful trip to Nicaragua. It changed a lot of lives, I think, is safe to say. and today was a good day. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. If you have any comments, absolutely leave them below. Ask your questions. You will have today's normal update. Will probably have already posted by the time that this one does. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can buy me a coffee. There's a link down below. That goes directly to me. I'm super behind on the video, so I'm recording at night because I don't have enough time to do it during the daylight. I wanted to make sure I was getting this out and edited. And if you could share this on social media, that would mean a lot, because getting new subscribers is the only way that we grow, and that's how we get the word out. I will see all of you in 3 years tomorrow.